Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Colleen, I'm with Shine On Yoga, and I have a nice session today. It's going to be quick and it's going to focus on our core. It's all going to be super low to the ground, so you won't need a whole lot of props. If you'd like to use props, you can use blocks, bolsters, blankets, anything you have around the house. And if you don't have any of those things, don't worry about it. You don't necessarily need them. All right, I guess no one is going to join me. Usually I have a dog or two come in and join me, but they're not interested today, so that is okay. We are going to start out class today just sitting on the mat. If you'd like to sit up on any blankets or blocks or a bolster, you certainly can. But we're going to take a moment here just to ground and settle before we move into the practice. You can just let your hands rest on your knees. If it feels safe in your body, you can close down the eyes. Soften through your forehead. Loosen your jaw. Let your shoulder blades melt down your back. And just take a moment to set aside your to-do list, the day, anything that's been bothering you, just set it aside. You can come back to it after this practice. It'll still be there. For now, we're just taking this time to focus on ourselves and our bodies. So let's just take some nice big inhales and exhales. So while you are sitting there breathing, just taking a moment, I do want to read the card that I pulled for today's class. So the card is Mouse Spirit, and its message is to tend to the small things. The humble mouse pays attention to the smallest details, and Mouse Spirit calls on you to notice the nuances and the fine print at this time. In your eagerness to meet your goals and pursue your dreams, it is easy to forget the importance of clear communication and tending to the little things, including people's subtle signs that they are unhappy, as well as a small voice inside of you that says, "This doesn't feel right." Take your time to sniff out what you need to know. Is there some detail or nuance about how you engage others or operate in the world that is key to your success, but you've too readily dismissed as nothing big or nothing special? Mouse Spirit reminds you that what seems small may be more important and powerful than you think. So look again. Do not underestimate yourself or your potential for co-creating something amazing when you pay attention to the details. We're going to keep on taking a few more breaths. And if your eyes are closed, you can open them back up. I did gain a friend here. I have Sam, but he probably won't stay for a super long time. All right, so let's go ahead and get ready to move our bodies. We're going to go ahead and transition to all fours. Your hands will go underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hip points lined up, back nice and flat, and we're going to just warm up our spine. This is one of my favorites. I haven't done it here recently, but it is one of the best ones, I think, and it is cat-cow. If you know cat-cow, take it away. If not, then come with me. On an inhale, we're going to drop our lower ribs, drop our belly, lift up through your chest, lift your tail, look forward, coming into a cow pose. You'll feel a nice big stretch in the front body. On an exhale, round through the spine, drop the head, drop the tail, really press through the back, coming into cat pose, like a black Halloween cat. Inhaling, we're going to reverse that, dropping back down into cow. And then exhaling, dropping it back into cat. Go ahead and do a few more on your own inhales and exhales. And if at any point in time one of these poses, like let's say cat, feels really good on your back, go ahead and stay in it for a few breaths. All right, when you feel like you've had enough, go ahead and bring that to stillness. And we're going to start to turn on our core, but we're going to do it really gently. I'm going to walk forward on my mat just a little bit here so I have some room. So we're going to first start out by kicking out one leg. So I'm going to go ahead and kick out my right leg here. Or actually, this is my left leg. Kick out whichever leg works for you, right or left. We're going to do both sides. And from here you can rock back and forth a little bit. You're going to get a little stretch in your calf muscles. You've had enough of that. You can bring it to stillness. And we're going to slowly lift those toes up off the mat. Keep the toes dialed down, so we don't want to turn them out to the side. We want the hips down towards the mat, so keep those toes turned down. And we can hold it here. Now if you would like a little bit more, really ground down through that left palm, or the palm of the foot that you have up. And then we're going to reach our opposite arm up like we're shaking someone's hand. So then you're going to be balancing in between your two limbs that are still on the floor. And that's going to turn on those core muscles. Breathe here. If you shake, that's okay. One more big inhale. And then exhale. We'll lower everything down to the mat. If you'd like to sit back on your heels, you can roll out your wrists a little bit if it's bothering you at all. Maybe shake out your hands. And then when you're ready, we'll come back to that all four position, that tabletop position. And then we're going to move on to the other side. So I'm going to this time stretch out my right leg. Again, you can rock it back and forth, getting a little stretch through that calf muscle. And once you feel good about that, we'll lift that right foot up. Keep those toes dialed down, leg in line with the hip. Take a few breaths here, play with it. Right, and then when you're ready, we're going to stretch our left hand out like we're going to shake someone's hand. We're balancing on our left shin and our right hand. Breathe. Feel those core muscles turning on. Let's take one more big inhale. And then exhale, we can return to our tabletop position. Go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the mat, big toes to touch. Take a nice big inhale. And then exhale, we're going to sink our hips back towards our heels. Walk those fingers forward and melt your head and your heart down to the mat. Extended child's pose. We're going to take a little rest before we move on to some more core work. So take a few breaths here. All right, from your extended child's pose, go ahead and walk up a little bit. And we can come back to that tabletop position. And then we're going to look down at our hands. From here, place one forearm on the mat and then the other forearm on the mat. Now they can be parallel like two train tracks, or you can bring your hands together. Completely up to you, yogi's choice. And then when you're ready, we're going to stretch one foot out long and away, and then the other, coming into a nice little forearm plank. So turning on our core, really press back through those heels. Breathe. We're going to stay here for 30 seconds. I am watching the clock tick down on my watch here. 15 more seconds. Keep breathing. Keep breathing. And then let's lower our knees down. We're going to make our way back into that extended child's pose. So knees out wide again, big toes to touch. Sink those hips back, walk the fingertips forward. Take a few breaths. All right, once you are feeling a little bit more relaxed, got that heart rate down, go ahead and come back to your tabletop position. It is cold where I'm at, so if you are wearing socks like I am, I would suggest maybe taking them off depending on what they're made with. If you have those grippy bottoms, great. Just make sure you won't slide around and hurt yourself is my only request. All right. So we're in our tabletop position. If your hands are directly underneath your shoulder, just walk them one hand print in front of where they were. So it'll be a little out. We're going to tuck our toes under, take a nice big inhale here. And then on the exhale, go ahead and lift those knees up off the mat, straight through the legs, press back through those hands, let the heels grow heavy. Downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. If you'd like to walk your dog, you can by bending one knee and then the other. Again, that's just going to stretch out the calf muscles a little bit more. And then if you are walking your dog, take a few breaths to bring it to stillness. Feel that nice big stretch through your back body. All right, after a few moments, make sure that your left foot is firmly planted into the mat. On our next inhale, let's lift our right toes up off the mat. Keep those toes dialed in like we did earlier. And then on the exhale, we're going to bend our knee in towards our chest, shift forward onto our hands, looking forward. Then we can step that right foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower onto that left knee. You can keep your toes tucked or untucked. And we're going to come into a nice low lunge here. Now just a few things. On your low lunge, make sure your leg is in a nice 90-degree angle. And when you look down, you should be able to see your big toe. If you can't see your big toe, push that knee out a little bit. This is a perfect pose to use blocks in. That'll just help bring the ground up to you so that way you can keep your chest nice and lifted so you're not collapsing. And you can use different levels depending on where you're at. You can also just do fingertips on the floor, or you can even just come up a little bit higher. So go ahead and pick your option. We're going to take a few breaths here. From here, We're going to take our right hand and we're going to walk it to the inside of our right foot. Then we're going to take that right foot and walk it to the outside or just to the edge of our mat. And then turn your toes so they just spill off the mat. So your heel will still be on the mat. Your big toes are off the mat. Hands are on the mat, not framing the foot. So we're coming into a little lizard variation. Keep your chest nice and lifted. You can still use your blocks here. This is a nice big hip opener. I'll have you guys stay there. I'm going to take Chai out. She has been very insistent on being in here today around me, but she's causing problems with the dog, so not today. All right, so we're in our low lizard. If your left toes are not tucked, go ahead and tuck them. We're going to lift that left knee up off the mat. And then from here, let's go ahead and come to our forearms. And then we'll step that right leg back. We're back in a forearm plank. Another 30 seconds. Breathe here. Turn on that core, really press back through those heels, press away from the mat. Keep breathing, and then let's drop our knees. And we're gonna make our way back into child's pose again. Knees as wide as mat, big toes to touch, look forward. We'll sink it back, take a little rest, take a breather. We have a whole nother side to do, so take some nice big inhales here. All right, when you're ready, we'll return back up to all fours. Tuck those toes under, take an inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Again, you can pedal it out, you can move into stillness. Keep breathing here. When you're ready, let's plant our right foot down. We'll lift our left foot up, keep those toes dialed down. Inhale. On your exhale, we'll bend that knee in towards the chest, shift forward, look forward, and we'll step our left foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower onto that right foot. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Nice low lunge here. Again, use any props you might need. Make any adjustments that you need that work for you. Keep breathing here though. Pull that left hip crease back, right hip crease forward. And when you're ready, we're going to bring our left hand over to meet our right. Let's walk our left foot to the edge of the mat. Then we'll take those toes just off it, coming in to our lizard variation. Nice big breaths here. Thank you so much for the hearts on the live. I appreciate it. All right, so the next pose we're going to move into from here is forearm plank. So you know what's coming. Take a few extra breaths if you'd like. And this is actually our last forearm plank. There's no more after this. So let's try and make it our best one. We're doing pretty good on time, so maybe we should try it for a minute. We've done 30 seconds, so let's try a minute. If you need to drop before a minute, then it's cool. You can do that. But let's try and get a minute. All right, when you're ready, we'll tuck these right toes under, lift that right leg up. One forearm down, other forearm down, and then when you're ready, you can step that left foot back and We're going to start our timer now. All right. We're going to go for a minute. We're going to breathe. We're going to shake. And again, if you need to drop your knees for a moment or come down to your belly, go ahead and do that. All right, we just did 30 seconds. 30 more. We've got 10 more seconds. If you're shaking, no, I'm shaking too. 3, 2, 1. Let's let it go. Whew. If you need to shake out your arms, do it. Give it a rest. We're going to come back into our child's pose. Whew, I'll meet you there. All right, after your child's pose, we're going to make our way back up. Go ahead and swing your legs over to one side. I'm going to get a little drink here. If you need a water break, take one too. All of that core work. We have one more core thing that we are going to do. I'm just moving my mat here, kind of moved on me. So this is our last core work that we're going to do today. And then we're going to cool it down, take a little rest here. So go ahead and come to lie on your back. Plant your feet on the mat. Take a breath. If you'd like, you can bring your knees into your chest. Take a few breaths here. Just breathe it out. So a couple of weeks ago, we did some bicycles. We are going to revisit that. If this is your first time with me, then we'll still go through it if you're unfamiliar with the bicycles. And you'll just want to take these at your own pace. Now I'm going to give you a couple of options. I'm going to go ahead and demo bicycles and then we'll get into it. So we're going to start, just bring your feet to a tabletop position, hands behind your neck. And then from here, this is kind of our starting point. We're going to take our right elbow over to our left knee. Then come back to center. And then left elbow to right knee. And back and forth. Oh, and we have a Fritz. I guess we did get everyone today. No, Fritz, no. Okay, come on, we're doing bicycles. It's good to see you. Thank you. All right, so that's one level. If you'd like to go up a level, then as you cross, you can take that opposite leg and just stretch it out. And it can be as low or as high to the ground as you would like. Keep that crunch, okay? And then we would just move to the other side, and you would move back and forth in your own time. Let's do 30 seconds of these. Starting 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and go at your own time. Breathing at your own pace. Do what works for you. I'll keep track of the time. We've done about 15 seconds. So just 15 more seconds. And go ahead and bring your knees into the chest. Give it a little squeeze. We are done with core work today. Let's cool it down. So go ahead and let your feet hit the mat. Walk your feet together, super, super, super together. And then we're going to go ahead and let our knees go to either side, coming into a reclined cobbler's pose. So the soles of your feet will stay together, your knees can go out to either side. This is another great posture that you can use props with. If you have blocks, you can just place them under the knees to bring the ground up to you. You can use blankets, bolsters, whatever you have that works for you. Hi, Fritz. I see you. Your hands can rest at your side. They can rest on your belly. If you have a little friend with you, you can give them a pet. Keep breathing here. And when you're ready, we're going to stretch one leg out long and away, and then the other leg. Let your arms fall out to your sides wide. You can close down the eyes. We're going to move into our final posture, Shavasana, or the corpse pose. So just take a moment here to relax, to let everything go, to thank your body for going through all that work. I am going to go quiet for a moment, but know that I'm still here. I'm holding space for you, and I will guide you out of this Shavasana posture momentarily. If you would like to stay in Shavasana, then stay as long as time allows. If you need to continue on with your practice or with your day, then go ahead and slowly start to deepen your breaths. Begin to wiggle fingers and toes, just bringing some life back into them. When you're ready, you can place one foot on the mat and then the other, keeping the knees bent. And in your own time, I invite you to roll to your favorite side and come into a little fetal position. take a few moments to take a few deep breaths as you reorient yourself to the space around you. And whenever you feel ready, slowly come back to your seat, bringing your head and neck up last. If you happen to still have your eyes closed, you can slowly blink them back open. So I want to thank you so much for spending your time and your energy and for sharing your practice with myself and with Fritz here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel relaxed. I hope you feel nice and strong after all of that core work. I will be back next week with a brand new session, so I hope to see you there. If you're following me on YouTube and you have not subscribed, please subscribe. That way you can get notified when these new practices are available. If you'd like to check out the live classes, right now they are on TikTok, usually about 4:30 on Wednesday afternoons, and that is Central Time. If something happens with TikTok, they will move over to Instagram, so you can always join me for a live session there. But if not, if you're watching this on YouTube, you already know how to find me. So thank you so much again. Come on, let's go say bye. I hope you guys all have a great week, and we'll talk to you guys later. Namaste. Say bye, Sam. Say bye. Let me see if I can get out of here.